tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika, chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafarakano. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
Today we talk about the kingdom of the sky. The kingdom of the sky, one of the most interesting countries in the world. And that country is a small one called Lesotho. Lesotho, or the kingdom of Lesotho, the kingdom of the sky, one of the countries that is so rare to find, with an altitude above sea level. It is a kingdom with a functional king, but also with a prime minister. If you think about UK, for example, having a king, a kingdom, the English king, but also the prime minister, all of them working alongside each other, but of course the prime minister making the major decisions. Now, that country in Africa is Lesotho, which is completely surrounded by South Africa. Some people wish to say it is a country within a country. But today, on Humanist TV Africa and country profiles, we talk about Lesotho, and we talk about a country with less than 2 million people, but also a country that is so beautiful to visit. It is Humanist TV Africa. My name is Katom Mukasa, and of course, in the studio, it's Dennis Bongwe to do the production. So, welcome. Let us have a look at Lesotho, or the kingdom of the sky. Now, when you watch the map of this beautiful country, you'll see that it's a kingdom. You see the royal regalia. You see that emblem right there, the spear. And of course, it's a symbol of power, the royal tools, that is Lesotho. It's not a big country. Of course, a small state. It's a small country. Got their independence on 4th October 1966. It was, of course, once occupied by the Great Britain. 1968, Great Britain annexed Lesotho when they wanted to run away from colonial rule. Cape Town wanted to dominate them, so the paramount chiefs of Lesotho at that time, under a chief called Moshoeshoe, in 1843, approached the British and asked them to take over. That's what the history says, that this time around, the British were asked to take over, requested to take over, and entered an agreement to protect this kingdom from Cape Colony, from the Dutch, from the Boers. This country, you can see the cities right there, and of course, Lesotho, we talk about Marcelo. Lesotho, we talk about Marcelo as the major city right there. It's a constitutional monarchy. It's a constitutional monarchy. And of course, as I told him, this country came to be in 1824 by King Moshoeshoe I, when he wanted to avoid Dutch settlers encroaching on his kingdom, and he approached the British Empire to protect them. So in 1868, it became a protectorate of the British Empire, and in 1884, it became a crown colony. That is Lesotho on your map. You see, the equator is quite far away, and Lesotho is right here in Southern Africa, or within South Africa, the Tropic of Capricorn, not far away there. It's the country, very small country, very, very tiny country right there, and we call it Lesotho, a country ruled by a king, but also governed by a prime minister. Now look at the map of Africa and see where you find Lesotho. Lesotho, right within South Africa. That's where you find this kingdom, Lesotho, a country within a country, if you want me to use that word. A country within a country, it is known as Lesotho. For example, talk about Vatican. Let me give you an example of a country within a country. Talk about Vatican, where the Pope is, and talk about Italy. Now come back to South Africa, talk about South Africa, and talk about Lesotho. Talk about Lesotho, and the people there are called Basotho. The people of Lesotho are also called Basotho. Now, this country is so interesting, given the fact that it was once threatened by the Dutch settlers, and they thought colonialism, they thought protection from the British. This country was once called Basutoland. This kingdom was once called Basutoland. That was the main name of this kingdom. And of course, it is a small, mountainous, landlocked country surrounded by much larger neighbor, Southern Africa. It has a population of about 2 million people. And of course, it's a country with it only covers 30,000 square kilometers. 30,000 square kilometers. It's an independent state. And why is it so unique? Lesotho is the only country in the world that lies entirely above 1,000 meters, which is 3,281 feet above sea level. In elevation, its lowest point is 1,400 meters. That's the highest lowest point of any country in the world. Listen to this. Lesotho covers 30,355 square kilometers. It is the only independent state in the world that lies entirely above 1,000 meters in elevation. It lies above 1,000 meters in elevation, and its lowest point is 1,400 meters. Therefore, it's the highest, lowest point of any country in the world. That is what is unique with Lesotho, right there. It was nicknamed the Kingdom of the Sky, and of course, it is packed with so many breathtaking mountain ranges. It is a beautiful country, I should tell you. And as I said, it's a country, the only country in the world which is above 1,000 meters. And of course, its people are called Basotho. Basotho. Right here is the map. You can see it is surrounded by South Africa, but it's an independent country and it's a kingdom. Now, if you look at Switzerland, they have been saying that Lesotho is the Switzerland of Southern Africa. And of course, it covers over 30,000 square kilometers, and it has some of the sparkling waterfalls, rugged mountain features that makes tourism so attractive in Lesotho. Of course, the people of Lesotho, or a citizen of Lesotho, is called Masoto. A citizen of Lesotho is called Masoto, and of course, a group of people in Lesotho are called Basotho. The language is Sesotho. The language is Lesotho. Now, let us look at minerals. Minerals, in terms of minerals, Lesotho doesn't have so much. I should tell you, doesn't have so much, but yes, it has a bit of wildlife, and of course, farming is the next key here. But when we talk about minerals, yes, we talk about diamonds, yes, they have diamonds. Yes, we talk about sand, gravel. It also has some bit of uranium and clay. It has dimension stone, sand, gravel, uranium, a diamond, clay, and base metals. That is Lesotho. Yes, it's rich in that area. And of course, it is normally regarded as a farming country. The economy of Lesotho is basically subsistence farming. They do subsistence farming and, of course, animal husbandry, as well as small scale industries that include clothing, footwear, textiles, food processing, and construction. Now, let us look at what is inside Lesotho. In that map, we have been seeing the road map, the topographical areas, how one city connects to another. You can see the cities here, or areas here, as the Marcel, the capital right there, or the most known there, Berea, Maketanga, Mohares, Hawk, Thabaseka, and Makotong, Raribeng, Burkina Bahu, and others. Some of the major areas where people normally go to visit. Now, in terms of population, by 2022, statistics show that, in fact, there are more than 2 million people. It is having 2,300,000 people right there. It's above 2 million as we speak right now. 2.3 million people. Population growth rate is only 1% annually. And of course, age dependence is quite high at 61, and of course, percent. And of course, urban population is a bit low at 29%. Infant mortality rate is threatening at 57 per 1,000 live birth. That is quite high. Infant mortality rate is high, 57 per 1,000 live birth. That is quite high. And life expectancy in Lesotho is so low at 53 years. It is absurd. And of course, like the rest of Africa, majority of people in Lesotho are between the ages of 15 to 64. They make 61%. And those who are young, call them children, between 0 to 14 years, make 33%. And of course, the aged ones, those above 65, make only 4%. Yes, 4%. Now, in terms of electricity, yes, there's a bit of production. They do produce their own electricity, but not much, at 0.5 billion kilowatts there. And of course, their consumption is quite high, yes, at 0.9. So what they produce is less than what they consume, in brief. And of course, they import electricity, therefore. They import electricity. They also have some bit of renewable electricity by 0.5 billion kilowatts. Now, in terms of technology, they have airports, about 24. By 2013, they had 24 airports. By now, they should have more. Cellular phones, almost everyone in Lesotho has a phone, in brief, because the entire population here is having a telephone, in brief. Highways cover about 5,940 kilometers of the road. Internet users are 500,000 right there. And those with office telephones are only 8,000 people right there. And geography and location, I told you that this country is located within Southern Africa, an enclave of South Africa. Briefly, it is covered by South Africa. It's landlocked, covered by South Africa. Total area is 30,755 square kilometers. Land area is 30,355 square. So it means, in brief, they have no coastline. In brief, they have no water area. They have no coastline. The climate is temperate, cool to the cold, dry winters, hot, wet summers. The terrain is mostly highland with plateaus, hills, and mountains. Of course, the lowest point here, the lowest point is a junction of the Orange and Makarenga rivers. Of course, and the highest point is Thabana, Drehana. That's the highest point. Of course, where do I get this information? World Bank is my source. World Bank is my source. And of course, U.S. Energy Information Administration. And of course, I get my information from CIA, World Fact Book. So that is Lesotho in terms of statistics. Now, let us look at other facts about this small country. Very interesting country. Very, very interesting. Now, these are waterfalls. I told you this country makes their own electricity. Yes, they have beautiful sceneries. If you want to see beauty, go to this country. go to this country to see beauty, beauty and beauty and beauty. It's a beautiful country, farming country. Wildlife, yes, they have wildlife. They have African lion, they have leopard, they have jackal, they have hyenas, they have meerkat, they have buffalo, they have rhino, they have zebra, they have wild beast, and they have many other animals in Africa. Of course, the giraffes and others. They have waterfalls. They have these water bodies right within. Quite impressive. It's a beautiful country, mountainous, hilly, very green. It's a beautiful, beautiful country right there in Lesotho. And when you go there, you'll see very cool villages, beautiful huts, and of course, it's a very, very impressive kingdom. I love Lesotho. It was once called Basuta land. You see how beautiful it is. Look at that beautiful house right there beside a water body. Look at the huts. Look at the houses which are thatched with glass, with grass thatched huts. Very cool. The people of Lesotho love their culture. I tell you, this is a kingdom. Look at how beautiful this structure is. Look at these houses and how beautiful they are. But also look at the background. Look at how beautiful the background is and how these huts are. Very clean, very beautiful. This country is beautiful. It was once called Basuto land, Basuto land, until when it was occupied by the British in 1843, when Chief Moshowe contacted the British and said, I don't want to become a colony, a Cape colony. The Dutch want to take over. Please come and take over. Yes, it became a colony in 1884. The British took over until when they got their independence. Later on, when they got their independence, they're under British rule from 1868. Yes, they're under British rule from 1868. And of course, Britain took them over for economic reasons, though they will tell you humanitarian reasons and moral factors. But I think it was largely because of economic reasons that they thought, why not? Let us take them over. Yes, those are people of Lesotho. Lesotho, those are the people right there of this beautiful country right there. Now, it's a small country, a country within a country. If you talk about San Marino and Vatican City, yes, both are located within Italy. It's a good example of Lesotho. Yes, it's a good example of Lesotho. So, the border of Lesotho is South Africa. Total length of the South African border is 909 kilometers. You can imagine. South Africa is the border of this beautiful country. Look at how they dress. I love these people. Their culture, they love their traditions, they love their culture. You see the women and the men, how they dress in their back cloth. These people love their culture, I'm telling you. These people are called Basuto. Yes, Basuto. It's a beautiful country. Nicknamed the Kingdom of the Sky. Why? They are almost into the sky. This is a unique country, otherwise called the Kingdom of the Sky. And look at how these people really love their traditional dresses. You see, these are the Basotho people of Lesotho. And of course, remember that the kingdom is under a king, but also under a prime minister. These are the people. So we see that today, the leader here, the king, is Lessie the third. Lessie the third, born Mohato Barenga Sesio. He was born on 17th July 1963. Now, when we go back to here, the black rhino is the national symbol, national animal of Lesotho. The black rhino. Yes, they have, of course, zebras and other animals. Yes, I told you that British rule dominated this country until when they got their independence. Yes, until when they get their independence recently in 1966. Yes, but they were under the British for a long time. And of course, as you can see, it's a country with a number of features. On October 4th, 1966, this kingdom got their independence. Now, here is His Majesty, King Leslie is the first son of the late King Mashoeshoe II and Queen Mother Mamohato Berenge Seiso. He was born at Scott Hospital in Morija on July 17th, 1963, and named Mohato Barenge Seiso. He was christened into the Roman Catholic Church as David. This is the king of this kingdom, but a king without political powers. Here is the king with the wife. He is a king, ceremonial king. He is a king, ceremonial for ceremonies. King, let's see, the third, ceremonial king of Lesotho, right there. So there's a king, and the king also has his influence. The king also features on public functions. He is the president. In other words, he is the president of this country, but the prime minister calls the shots. Here is the president, the king. The prime minister today is Samuel Matekane, sworn in as prime minister of Lesotho on the 29th day of October 2022. And the prime minister, right there, is the head of government and has executive authority. The king of Lesotho, Alesi III, is the head of state and serves as largely a ceremonial function. He serves largely on ceremonial function, and of course, he no longer has executive powers and is even prohibited from actively participating in political initiatives. So the man in charge is Samuel Matekane, who was elected by the people. So the prime minister in Lesotho is the one with the powers, is the one with powers. The king is purely ceremonial. The king is purely ceremonial. So this is the beautiful country right there. It has its own challenges. Unemployment is also quite prevalent in Lesotho, but of course, it's a very, very beautiful country. Very beautiful, beautiful country, worth visiting, worth knowing about what's going on in this country. A country with a king peacefully existing with the political wing. The king is the president, but without powers, without political powers. And the prime minister takes the executive powers. And that is the country, Lesotho, with a beautiful, beautiful history, but also beautiful people who love their culture. It is Massive Africa where you come and watch these things, where you get to know what you didn't know. Continue watching, subscribe, and share. See you in the next one.